Today we are going to have a lessons in domestic production subsidy. Okay, so to protect our local producers, it's not necessary to impose a tariff or quota, but we can give subsidy to our producers, domestic producers, to make sure that they are going to be protected. They are going to increase their production. Let's take a look at the domestic production subsidy curve. So this is the curve for domestic production subsidy, and then this is before we have trade. It means that we produce 10 units of good eggs, and then we sell a units of good eggs for 430 ringgit. Okay, so it means this is actually our equilibrium price and this is our equilibrium quantity. Now, suppose that we import good eggs from another country. So suppose that the world price is equal to 400, then it means that our supply curve S0 will shift to S plus W. Okay. And then if the price is sold in our country for 400 ringgit only, it means that quantity demanded will increase from 10, it will increase to 14. And then quantity supplied will drop, domestic quantity supplied will drop from 10, it will drop to 2. Okay, and then so what the governments do is actually this is actually before the government intervenes. Okay, before the government intervenes, the number of imports is equal to 14 minus 2, so you will get 12. Okay, so the number of imports before the government gives subsidy to local producers, the number of imports is equal to 12. Okay, so if the government gives subsidies to domestic producers to make sure that they can produce, they can increase their production. So when the subsidy is given, it means that the production will increase, supply will shift to the right, so supply will shift from S0 to S1. So you can see that our supply will shift from S0 to S1. Why it shifts? It is because the government gives subsidy, give the financial aid to local producers, and of course local producers can produce more goods and services, more units of good eggs. Okay, so how much the government gives subsidy is actually equal to 25. Okay, so this is actually when the government gives subsidy. So local producers can increase their production. So from 2 it will increase to 7. Okay, so the number of units, the units of good eggs will increase from 2, it will increase to 7 because the government gives subsidy. Okay, so the price is actually, the net price is actually 425 ringgit. Okay, so how much is the subsidy? The subsidy is equal to 25 ringgit. Okay, because actually when the price is equal to the net price for local good eggs producers is RM 425. The total price paid by consumers is actually 400 only. The consumers only pay 400 only, and then the governments actually will pay another 25 ringgit. Okay, so now we are going to calculate the total subsidy that the government provide to local producers. So each unit of good eggs, the government will give 25. Now actually domestic quantity supplied is equal to 7. So 7 times 25, you will get 175. Okay, so total subsidy is equal to 175. So now we are going to look at the change in producer surplus. How much is this change in this producer surplus? So the area is actually, the blue area is actually the change in producer surplus. Okay, so how much is the change in producer surplus? 1 over 2 times 25 times 7 plus 2, so you will get 112.54. Okay, so this area is actually the change in producer surplus. Okay, and then how much is the protective effects? So the black area is actually the protective effect, and how much is it? The protective effect is equal to 1 over 2 times 25 times 7 minus 2, then you will get 62.54. Okay, now we move to the exercise. Given the demand and supply functions for good X in country A as follows: QD is equal to 100 minus P and QS is equal to 50 plus P. So question A, calculate the equilibrium price and quantity. Question B, suppose that the country opens up its economy to trade and imports 30 units of good X. Determine the world price. Question C, how much does the government need to subsidize to ensure that the domestic quantity supplied will increase by 10 units of good X? Question D, calculate the value of the protective effect.